All right. What's happening? Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Guys Sports Night tonight. I got a special guest. We were hoping to have more, but it's just going to be me and the big Mike. What's going on, dude? How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, man. Hey, appreciate you having me on.
Dude, yeah, absolutely, man. It's always fun when you get to do this with other people, even though it's not in studio. So you and I talked a little bit before the show, but really not a whole lot. You said you've been doing sports podcasts for a couple of years now, right?
Yeah, I've been sports podcasting for a couple of years. I went to Ohio Center for Broadcasting, graduated, did all that, and I was like, well, you know what? Let me throw all that usefulness to into something. And I've been covering sports and dealing with sports my whole life, though.
That's awesome, man. Well, if you're in Cleveland, that's all you get to do is sports. So you're in Cincinnati now, but still the Browns fan. I see the Fannin and the Ward jerseys in the background.
Oh yeah, both autographed. I got Ozzie Newsome above it. I got helmets everywhere. I got all sorts of stuff.
Awesome, my guy. Awesome. Well, tonight we're going to get into is hoping to get a few others on board. So anybody that's listening, if you're tuning in, you want to join the show, we're welcome to join in anytime. But figured we just have a good time and just kind of go through the mock draft of just the first round and for all the teams, kind of where we think things are going to play out and how they're going to end up come next Thursday night. Are you doing a special show? You want to do a shout out or anything like that for anything that you're doing that night?
Thursday night, I'll be up in Parma Heights at Flyers Bar and Grill with Network 216 doing a whole big thing live with everybody there. They got all sorts of specials going on. It's going to be a crazy night, but there's a lot of us coming up there. There's about 10 of us that'll be up there doing this.
Oh yeah, dude, that'll be a really good time, man. Kind of like what is it, 92.3 The Fan? They do their live one at the bar every once in a while, every year, and have their little thing. So, who else joining you up there? Anybody particular?
If you ever seen any of the Network 216 people, Fatty, Slosh Sports, they'll be up there. A couple of the podcast guys from there. I don't know everybody's like podcast name, but Mike,
Sure.
Brian, and different guys. Guardcast, they'll be all there too.
Okay, so are you guys just doing like just to watch the draft live? Are you guys streaming that across all the channels, or?
Yeah, we'll be streaming across everything. You'll see reactions. We'll talk about what we think is going to happen, different stuff.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, for those joining in, please like and subscribe to either of the channels so that you guys catch not only Browns stuff going on through the draft and through the rest of the off season, but into the season. But do you guys do other sports as well? You talk other sports as well, Mike?
Oh yeah, I talk everything. Anything and everything. I do 4 shows a week.
Oh wow!
On my channel, I do Monday and Wednesday. I got Game Time 216 with my co-host Bobby G, strictly all Cleveland, and then Tuesday and Thursday, Sports Madness and Off the Rails. That's all teams, all different sports.
Awesome. Yeah, we're once a week on this, and then on Sundays we just do a guys' night podcast where we have different guests from the area that own separate businesses and things like that, just to talk all kinds of random stuff. But it's one of those things that becomes addicting. You want to do it more and more, right?
Yeah. This is, like I said, this is my second show today. I did a 2-hour show earlier. So
yeah, no kidding. What did you guys touch on in your other show?
We were talking NBA playoffs. We talked a lot about the draft coming up and why we think Mendoza shouldn't be the guy at 1 and why the Raiders should trade that pick and build their team and wait for next year. There's a lot of arguments with that, how the Browns shouldn't draft a quarterback and how Simpson should go sit behind somebody that he can learn from. I always argue that. Like, I wear this bear head. Browns lose, I wear this until they win. If they draft Ty Simpson, I'm wearing that on every show for an hour. I can't stand it if they go Ty Simpson. I'm mad, but I'm the biggest Barry enthusiast. Like, I love Andrew Barry. I think he finally, after Paul D. Podesta was gone, he showed what he can do with the draft. He's always been good with numbers and moving money around, but now he showed what he can do with the draft, which I think will carry over. And if he does it again, I think everybody that hates Barry will come right around.
Yeah, I think so too. And obviously tonight we're going to kind of do a mock draft for the entire first round. But we could talk a little bit Browns too specifically. And I think the consensus is everybody thinks they're going to go wide receiver and tackle. And frankly, myself personally, I don't think that that's what they're going to do at all.
No.
I think Gary's got a complete shocker in there. And, you mentioned Mendoza first overall. I'm with you. I don't know if anybody didn't make an offer for that first overall pick. But when they were trading Crosby to the Ravens, I was like, oh, there it is. They're going to trade Crosby, get a couple of firsts, and they're going to trade that first overall pick. And they're going to have, 7-8 first round picks over the course of the next 2 years to rebuild and and really put a roster together. But you know what? I mean, we'll see what Mendoza does, because I think that is going to be. I think that's a consensus. He's gonna go to Oakland, and they put a team around him, or Las Vegas.
Well, it's as long as they do that. But I mean, if it makes sense, it doesn't happen in the NFL. That's how this works.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. That is the truth.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the mock. I'm gonna pull up this screen here. We're gonna do PFSN. So let's see if we can pull it up. Hopefully, everybody's out there can kind of see what's going on. But you and I talked about it. I think Oakland's the consensus. They're gonna go quarterback. It makes sense. So Mendoza's the pick. Now, number 2, I think, is where it gets interesting, right? Because over the last 2 days, everybody said Bailey's going to be the pick. I think literally 2 or 3 of the, Scheffler, Shefty and Rappaport and all those guys have all made the consensus that they think that the number 2 overall pick now is going to be David Bailey out of Texas Tech. I'm not a big fan. I would want nothing to do with David Bailey. What's your thoughts at that 2 pick?
I don't know why all of a sudden the switch from Arvell Reese to David Bailey. It doesn't. I don't get it. Even though Arvell Reese, if you look at it, there's some speculation there too. If you really dive into it, because I mean, the guy can play and do his thing, but then there's also where'd he come from? Why all of a sudden all this hype? But yeah, I don't understand the whole David Bailey thing. I've seen him go as low as 9 in some drafts, but now people are trying to tout him at 2, and I don't see it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Jets do, because I mean they've got 2, 16, 33, and 44. So I mean they could put a lot on that team before next year having 3 first rounds. I mean I'm a little bit envious, honestly, because I feel like the Browns are 1 year away from being in that same situation when they signed Garrett to the big extension. I was like, oh man, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. We could have traded him to anywhere. Now we're restricted. He's going to only want to go to certain teams. We're going to get late round picks if we do end up trading him, or, we're just going to be average for the next couple of years and waste another couple of years of him, probably lose Denzel and who knows what else over the course of that time. So I don't know what's going to happen at 2. Arvell Reese, he came out of nowhere. I mean, shoot, he was on the bench for the national championship game 2 years ago, right? He's an off-ball linebacker, which really the only other, if you want to call him an off-ball linebacker that's been taken in the top 5 recently, would have been Isaiah Simmons, and that didn't turn out well. And he was more of an off-ball. He was more of a Sonny Styles type, I guess.
Yes.
Safety / linebacker. But he's not a hand in the dirt guy. I don't think he put his hand in the dirt more than a half a dozen times all of last season. I made a comment. He reminds me of Greg Lloyd. I don't know. I mean, you look like you're about my age. You need a little salt. Yeah, that Steelers defense. You ran a 3-4. You had a lot of linebacker blitzes around it. Like that, to me, is an Arvell Reese fit. If you're going pass rusher, maybe it's David Bailey. So who you want to put down there at number 2? Who you think it's going to be?
I feel like it's going to go Arvell. I can't.
You think it's Arvell?
Yeah.
All right. We'll go with Arvell on that. I mean, up until a week ago, that's what everybody thought, right?
Yeah. Again, we see how this works usually with the draft. We don't know things, and then all of a sudden they happen, and they were handshaked 2 months ago. It's the craziest stuff. But that's where people start saying things. You get all these notions. Like last year, the whole Jacksonville deal, that was done a month ahead.
Right.
And we had no clue. Everybody's thinking Travis Hunter's it, and I'm like, man, I hope not. I didn't want him.
They played that off so well too. I did want Travis Hunter. I thought he was going to be a playmaker. And I'm starving for a playmaker in Cleveland. I feel like it's been so long since we've had just a guy that you could get the ball to and can do stuff with. And now he's in Jacksonville, and they're going to just keep him on defense apparently the entire time. We'll see what happens there. Looks like we got some comments in there. Looks like Reese, whoever Jessam thinks that the Reese is going to be the pick there at 2. We'll see. We'll see what the Jets are going to do. All right, so I got the Cardinals next. The Cardinals is an interesting pick too, right? That team is in complete rebuild mode. I mean, there's maybe 3 to 5 people on that roster that are worth building around. Obviously, it's the NFL. Things can happen really quick. We see what happened. Speaking of Jacksonville, just a year ago, and how quick they got good. But you don't have a quarterback. You're not going to draft one this year. You don't really have a defense at all. You've got one name on that defense. And on offense, I don't know if there's going to be a trade with Marvin Harrison. If there is, I hope Andrew Berry's got his, finger on the button, ready to go. But Jacoby Brissett made Michael Wilson look like a stud last year, and then they moved the ball. So I'd imagine that they're going to go defense. The difference is going to be, or offensive line. Excuse me. I can't imagine them going with the running back when they don't have a defense at all. To me, think this is where David Bailey is going to go if he goes inside the top 5. So if I'm here at number 3, I'm going with David Bailey. I think they need a pass rusher on that defense, and whether he turns out to be something or nothing, I think that's going to be their pick there.
I agree. I think it's going to be either him or they do go offensive line to try to help Brissett and help the crew of running backs they do got, because I can't see them doing anything else. What's funny is I did an epic mock draft a couple of days ago, or last Thursday. We did the whole thing, all 7 rounds, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, did all of them. And someone who was running the Giants war room traded up with the Cardinals, gave up whatever just to pick Sonny Styles. It blew my mind away. Like you went up and got some guy you can give at your spot.
Yeah. It's interesting too. Here I say, Cardinals offensive line. What's your thoughts on the offensive lineman in the first round of this draft?
Man, it's one of those, if you truly believe whatever they played in college, they have to stay at when they go to the pros, this is a crazy thing then, because you only got really 2 true left tackles and the rest are all right or play center. But I think if you can open your mind up and realize, hey, some of these guys can really switch. I know everybody got scared about the Jed Willis thing.
Of course.
I think Spencer Fano, he played left tackle his freshman year, then went right because Lomu showed up.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could do both. And he even took snaps at center at the combine just to give some versatility show there. And
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
And I truly believe like there's a couple of them that can do that. Mayoga probably can switch, even though I think he might get pushed into guard. Proctor, I'm not big on Proctor. I think he's a heel clicker. I think he acts like he's wearing ruby slippers or something. Plus, I've seen him get pushed around too much. Like this
especially
guy's
for being
so
what,
big.
360, 370. Like he's just got no. The fact that somebody mentioned one time, I heard something like a week ago. They're like, "Oh, the Browns like him at 6." I was like, I will turn in my jersey.
I'll put this in now, right?
Yeah, you're making it really, really hard to be a Browns fan if you're taking Proctor at 6.
That's like 20 spots ahead of where he should go. So.
Yeah, you bring up a lot of good points, and it's one of those things where in a draft where I think really the more second, third, and fourth round picks you have, the more likely you are to find a good football player, and the more first round picks you have, I feel like you're more likely to find a bust in this draft.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, before the combine, Monroe Freeling, people were talking about him being a late first round pick, Lomu early second round pick, and you weren't even hearing the guys. One of them played at Strongsville. I'm trying to think, the tackle from Clemson, right tackle from Clemson.
Oh, Blake Miller.
Yeah, Blake Miller. You weren't even hearing his name. You weren't hearing I can't even pronounce Max. Mad Max
or something like that.
Yeah, you weren't even hearing their name when it came to the first round at all. And then all of a sudden, things start changing, and now we got like 7 or 8 offensive linemen going into the first round. And it's like, I feel like that's just people. I think that's where analysts are just looking at it and being like, this team needs an offensive lineman. This team needs an offensive lineman. So let's just put them all to first round picks,
It's like an Oprah Winfrey show.
You get a tackle. And so I was interested. We did a deep dive because we were going to do a whole show on just offensive tackles, or at least like a 30-minute segment on it. And we did a deep dive. So obviously there's more offensive linemen in the NFL than any other position. 82% of them were not like drafted in the first round of the starters in the league.
Oh yeah.
And it's also one of those things where the average PFF grade of a rookie tackle and then his average PFF grade by year 5 is like 20 points higher, because it just takes that long to develop to the NFL. Because let's face it, you're not facing a Myles Garrett. Here, if you're in the North, you could have been facing Trey Hendrickson, Myles Garrett, and TJ Watt back to back to back. your PFF rating against those three guys is probably going to be in the tank if you're whoever you are. So, it's hard to judge a guy coming out of college. It's not like early 2000s. And once again, dating myself there, early 2000s, I felt like, when you had like the Joe Thomases, you had Walter Jones, like you had bona fide tackles, left tackles. They only played left tackle and they were like top 5 picks.
Yeah.
Now it's like we just kind of push people up there because everybody needs a left tackle to protect the quarterback.
Yeah, just a need, not something that you want to really spend that kind of pick on. But now everyone's like, oh, well, we got to because we need this right now. Even though, again, like you said, some of the best offensive linemen have come from the 4th round and on. Like you get 6th round offensive linemen and they're just studs. Just nobody pays attention.
And for the Browns, the other reason I don't think they're going to draft a tackle in this first round is the fact that you just invested in 4 new offensive linemen, right? You just spent a whole ton of money on it. Now you're going to have to spend another bunch of money on a first round pick on an offensive lineman, or you still have DeJuan Jones, who's coming back from injury for the 2nd year in a row. But if he's healthy and he's strong, like he's proven he can play the position at an adequate clip. And you try to build that offensive line. Hopefully got the right coaching. I mean, frankly, we weren't talking offensive line the year before last because Bill Callahan had that team like squared away. Like they were the best in the business. When he leaves and Teller all of a sudden becomes a liability, you start to realize how important coaches are, I think, in that offensive line room.
And I agree. And that's why I think we'll probably grab more versatile offensive lineman like Dunker. That dude can play 3 positions. So if someone goes down and we know how this works for us, usually we're running out to the parking lot and grabbing trash cans saying, can you stand here real quick? But Dunker can play center, guard, and tackle. I think we're going to go more that way. Like if you got a guy that can play a couple of different ones, great. That's what we want because injuries happen all the damn time.
Of course. And plus he's got a great mullet that just screams Cleveland all over it.
There's a nickname. We call him the Ginger Plow.
All right, let's get back to this mock draft. Titans at number 4. You got a rookie quarterback who did okay, I guess, last year, if you want to look at it that way. And then you have really nothing else.
Yeah, they need almost everything. And the thing that helps a rookie quarterback the most, I think, is an amazing running back. I know they got Pollard, they got Spears, but I feel like they could deal one of them away. And I think Jeremiah Love here would work wonders for Ward.
Jeremiah Love is the pick. Tennessee's turning it in. I don't disagree with that. I think that you putting a star running back behind a quarterback. I mean, look what Baker and Chubb did when they started out their careers together. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, they got some weakness in the offensive line. There's nobody to really throw the ball to. So Jeremiah Love might have a difficult time that first year when they've got 8 men in the box on every play. But if he's a true talent, like they're saying, I mean, if he's truly the best overall talent in this draft, then that's something he should still be able to pick up 4 to 5 yards a clip and hopefully make things easier for Cam Ward down there.
Oh, 100%, especially if Ridley comes back and can play. And I think they got Wan'Dale Robinson too now. So I think they got a couple guys where, all right, let's see if you can catch them.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a couple of comments here from Jessam. Any offer generational offensive tackle in future drafts like Pace and Thomas? There's somebody coming out next year. I'd have to look it up. I cannot recall who, but anything could change when it comes to offensive linemen too. There's a guy out of Wake Forest who last year people thought he was going to be one of the best tackles in this draft, an early to mid first rounder, and now he's being like a 5th or 6th round pick, and his name's like Falomalu Apatu or something like that. All I know is he's got a whole bunch of F's and vowels in his name. So it's like, you could be a great tackle one year and then the next year you fall apart. And the way these guys get graded is just, I mean, I couldn't grade an offensive tackle, frankly.
You got like 3 things: your arms, your feet when you slide, and your bench press, how much power you can have when you do your thing. And to the question, I think there's another one. He just left Colorado. I don't know where he went. I forget where he went, but he's a big boy, and I think he could do some damage. But I don't know how everything's going or why he left Colorado to do all that. But
yeah, we'll find out. I found the other day. Did you know Jordan Tyson was from Colorado?
No. Well, I mean, yeah, Jalen Tyson is too. Then I guess, right?
Yeah, so Jordan Tyson was his freshman year. He played for Colorado, and
Oh yeah.
then he blew up his knee, and then missed a year, and then he went to Arizona State after that. But I didn't even know that until we were doing a deep dive on him. I was like, no kidding.
Right.
He would have played with Shador and Travis Hunter. Like, God, that offense would have been disgusting.
That would have been insane. And then they had the other dude,
Horn.
yeah, Horn.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him.
Crazy.
Yeah, he like disappeared. All right, so I got the Giants here at 5. I actually just said this the other day. So the fact that I got the Giants, I feel like I got to put my money where my mouth is. I think this is going to be the shocker. Like, this is going to be that pick where people are going to be like, "What? Like, they need so much." But I think Mansour Delane is going to be the pick for the Giants at 5. If they don't trade out of that pick, and I know there's some possibility that they're going to, but I think that they're going to go corner. Harbaugh's going to want to build that defense up just like he did in Baltimore. In offense, you've kind of got a 3-headed monster. I know there's talk about them possibly adding Tate, but I just don't see Harbaugh as the guy. I mean, he didn't do it in Baltimore, right? I mean, he took one first-round receiver over the course of his 15 years there. So, I think Mansour Delane's going to be the pick for the Giants there at 5.
And you know what? I like that. I figured he's going to be secondary or linebacker, like a Sonny Styles or a Caleb Downs, Mansour Delane. That dude's something else.
Yeah, he's a lockdown for sure.
Like, if we got rid of Ward, that's where I would want to go. I definitely would want to get Mansour Delane.
Yeah, I did a mock draft today where I traded Ward in like a 5th or a 6th for the Bears early 2nd round pick or maybe something like that. And because I took Delane over like if it's 6th.
I think that's where I was getting it from, because you did a whole
I was playing with it. Like, I was like, what if I was just going, like, me and my buddy is like, this is a meat and potatoes draft. Like, between like pick 40 and pick 110, there's just a lot of talented players that, maybe aren't Hall of Famer blue chippers, but if they end up on your team, like, there's some guys that I really like that have done some great stuff. We could talk about guys we like later in the draft later. Hopefully you've got a couple of names to share, but we'll see what happens. If he falls to Cleveland, I mean, like I said, Barry could shock us all.
I agree.
All right, you got the Cleveland Browns here at 6.
It's almost just got to be Tate, right? Get your playmaker finally. You get somebody that catches these balls, whether they're 10 yards in the air, whether it's one hand, whatever. He does it all, and people got their problems with it, and they say, "Oh, well, Tate's not that good." Mekhi Lemon or Jordan Tyson. You got to go for the for sure thing. The drop rate's insane when it comes to Tate. Like, it is great. I mean, if they did Tyson's drop rate, and if they really did it, it was 1. He dropped 1 pass.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, the dude's been sitting on the bench, so you can't really drop a whole lot. But
right. So what you put up Carnell Tate, and I really like Carnell Tate. Early on, I before we started mocking and stuff, I was like trying to do a lot on him. And obviously the 40-time scared people, I'm not really a 40-time guy. The difference between 4.37 and 4.51 is like the most it's literally less time than it takes to snap your fingers, right? So obviously he's open. He's got the ability to run a route, create separation, and he does it great. What I really liked about him, yes, his contested catches, like he catches with his hand, he goes up and he attacks the ball. But I like the way that he adjusts. If you watch a lot of those deep plays, he's got the guy beat, and Sand just underthrows him by 10 yards. You know what I mean? Like, he does a terrific job of really adapting to the ball. I wouldn't be mad if he was picked number 6 at all. I'd have a hard time. There's another guy I really like at 6, and he's sitting there in our draft, which is Reuben Bain. I know everybody's going to be like, defensive end, what are you talking about? I think Reuben Bain has the potential to be one of the best players in this draft. But
my only thing with him is now that this whole thing from 2 years ago is coming out with the car accident, and he was driving and the person died and all that. Is this going to be brought back and be a problem for him? Or what's going to happen there? Because why else would it come back up? Why would it rear its head back up?
You know what? I got a good reason for that, because it's the NFL draft, and somebody wants him to fall to 10 or 12. Like, the Cowboys are like, hey, I thought the Cowboys were the ones that threw that out there about Caleb Downs' knee. Do you remember that story after the combine? Nothing since then, but hey, Caleb Downs might have a knee problem. I think that's the kind of sloppy stuff that happens when teams want somebody to draft. I did hear somebody today. I can't remember if it was it might have been Scheffner, where he said that some teams have taken Bain off their draft board completely because of this incident. I thought it was pretty cool that the people of the parents or the family of the person that died came out and said, we don't blame him for anything. We wish him a solid, successful NFL career, etc. So, but yeah, I mean, he's under scrutiny. I think that gets put out there, really just, to throw some heat on the fire. Any comps that you consider for Tate?
Oh man, you know what's crazy? I don't know why I would say this one, but I say Olave for some reason.
Yeah.
It's just because Olave, when healthy, does the same thing. Like
Right.
they fit. I mean, it's a natural Ohio State wide receiver thing just to be
Yeah.
able to do all these traits. But Olave seems to be the one that I really, if he would have stayed healthy, then he would have had a hell. I mean, he could still have a hell of a career, but I think it would have been far along on. But yeah, I think Tate's like that. Um, I don't know if I could say anybody else because I've been trying to think of that myself, and I'm like, man, Tate's just something else.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Actually, I saw somebody do a side-by-side comparison of, I think it was Tate versus Justin Jefferson, and obviously Justin Jefferson's elite, but when you talk about when he came out of school, he wasn't, right? He wasn't a top 5 consideration and pick. In fact, that's the draft that we took Jedrick Wills in at number 10.
Yes.
And CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson went like, 14 and 18 or something. It's like, oh, best player available. See, that's a perfect example of why you take the best player available.
Haunts us is taking a lineman this early, and then you got that crap again. You can't do that now. Now you got to, hey, look, this is what we need. And the Ruben Bain, I wouldn't be upset by that because Myles Garrett's here. You put Ruben on the other side, and them two just destroy stuff. And I couldn't be mad at it, but I feel like if we went defense, it might be Caleb Downs at that pick.
Yeah, and I wouldn't hate that either. Real quick, because obviously earlier it was Jordan Tyson that was talked about. Was there any point in time where you thought Jordan Tyson could be this 6th pick, or you wanted him to be this 6th pick?
There was right away. I thought that's where it was all starting to head was Jordan Tyson. And then as I started listening more and reading more, I'm like, man, there's no way they're going to do this because they already have so many problems with injuries. They're not going to take a risk on this guy like this. It's not going to happen. But they say like, if this dude didn't have the injury problem, he would be number 1 by far.
Yeah, that's what they say. But, it's hard to overlook a pretty significant injury is MCL, ACL, and PCL. And then he's had hamstring problems for the last 2 years, I think 2 years ago was a collarbone, but he had hamstring problems to end this season. Then he doesn't go in the combine. He's actually supposed to work out on the 17th.
Well, I thought it was today. Or no, tomorrow. I thought it was the 15th. I thought it was tomorrow.
It might be tomorrow then. I might be wrong. So we'll have to see what happens after that. That's obviously gonna, be a big part for him from that going on there. All right, so Washington comes up next. I've got a ton of notes on Washington because I was like, man, like you've got a wide receiver over there. If I was going to get this pick, who would I do? Love is gone. I know everybody's talking about how awesome that backfield would be with Love. I don't see them not trying to protect their quarterback, but I'm not sure what their offensive line looks like right now. So if I'm making a move or I want a leader on my defense as I try to rebuild that, they've lost some guys. I think Caleb Downs could go to Washington. I think that could be that pick. I mean, the last time they picked a safety at 7 turned out okay for the first couple of years. If you remember Sean Taylor.
Oh yeah, Sean Taylor, big hitter, man, big hitter. I think he could have been gold jacket for sure. If, again.
Yeah.
His life
absolutely
was extended, but I like this. I even think they could go a Ruben Bain here too, to be honest, because they do need that defense. They can have the firepower on offense, but they have nobody stopping anything.
Yeah, well, it's interesting when you look at all these top 10 teams. They don't just have they're not a player away, right? That's why they're picking in the top 10. Unless you're, even the Chiefs, the Bengals, when we get to them, like none of these teams are a player away. They've got issues kind of a little bit everywhere. But all right, you're up with the Saints. I'm very interested to see what you do with this pick. Now, we're not doing any trades in this draft, but I feel like the Saints could be one of those teams that targets a move up. But we'll see what happens. If they get stuck there at 8, where do you see them going?
Oh man, see, Now, since Ruben hasn't gone yet, this is where I could see him going because Jordan's gone now. That let him go. They need to upgrade that defense for sure. If Love was still around, if he didn't go, it would be a big thing for him. Plus a corner. I mean, Terod McCoy.
Do you think that Gerard? I actually saw Jermod McCoy on the pick for them recently, and then I saw Mekhi Lemon a couple of times too. I don't know if they would put another sub 6 foot wide receiver on that team, but
I can't see that. But I think they do need to get to that defensive line since they definitely lost their veteran who's been there forever. And I don't even know why they let him go. Just let him be there.
yeah, I mean,
I mean, it's not like he's trying to. He wants more. He's just chilling. He's coming down the last couple of years. I feel like Bain probably ends up here.
All right, Ruben Bain into New Orleans. I don't think I've seen that yet. I mean, it makes sense for all the reasons you kind of said above. But that could very well be where he falls. Number 9, I've got Kansas City. So it's interesting. You got a quarterback, right, who has kind of been on a regress over the last couple of years. He's coming off of a knee injury. I don't even know if he's going to be back in time to start the season or if he's going to come in.
They say week 3 or 4.
It's a team that's got really one wide receiver in Worthy. They don't really have a target. You got a tight end who's on his way out. I think the Chiefs are kind of a trade down possibility if you got a team like Dallas or somebody that wants to move up, or even the Jets. Like, for instance, if Ruben Bain's here, I could easily see the Jets moving back up and getting a player they want, depending on who they take it to. Obviously, offensive line's an issue. Here's the thing: the rich get richer. In this sense, if I was Kansas City, my thought process would be I got Kelsey for one more year, and how important that tight end is to that offense. This is one of those picks where I think people are going to be surprised he goes this early, but I see Kenyon Sadiq ending up in Kansas City.
You know what's crazy? I'm with you. I could see that happening too, just because of the Kelsey move. They you got Worthy and Rice, but Rice is doing whatever.
Right.
This will be crazy 2 tight end set. You just picked up Walker. It'll help Fields for the first couple weeks, and then Mahomes will be able to have a 2 tight end set to where he can just throw it to anybody to catch the ball.
Yeah, and then if I was going to make another pick, I think after the trade of they traded McDuffie over to the Rams, I could easily also see them going Jermod McCoy right there. Right there. To me, McCoy is an interesting prospect. He's got a higher ceiling, I think, than Delaney. But, man, a year without playing football, coming off a knee injury, playing corner, like it could be week 10 before you're actually like back in it as far as, trying to cover receiver one-on-one. All right, you're down there in Cincinnati now. I'm sure you're hearing all the news on who they want. Who do you see the Bengals going? Because the two that I think they would have been interested in were Downs and Bain, and they're both off the board now.
Oh, Downs, Bain, Delaney was one of them, but Sonny Styles is a big name.
Yeah,
they say that name a lot because they haven't had a real linebacker in a long time. I mean, they need someone to control that for them, and I think Sonny Styles is going to be the pick if it comes falling this way.
Sonny Styles it is down there in Cincinnati. I don't think they'd be mad at that pick. Me personally, I don't think Sonny Styles isn't a guy that I would want on my team. I think that I watched him in that Miami game and it looked really bad. We did a video and I showed some breakdown, blown up in the hole, missing tackles, misreads on the touchdown play. Like it was just like one after another. And he's the kind of guy, I feel like I don't know if he gives up on the play, but if it's a run in the middle and he's playing outside linebacker and an offensive lineman even remotely gets near in front of him, he is done. He is not fighting through there. He is not doing anything that's making a difference for that team.
This is one of those, the combine worked very well for him.
Definitely. But, he's also a hybrid player. I mean, he played safety. Now he plays off the ball linebacker. He's not a pass rusher.
No.
He didn't rush the passer. He did blitz occasionally, but it's like, to me, it's like, is the hype just there? Is this an Isaiah Simmons 2.0? Like, is the hype just there because he was a freak at the combine and he's 6'6", or what is he, 6'6", almost 6'7", I think 240, and he runs a 4.4. So, yeah, I mean, you look at him athletically and you could find a place for him. Sonny Styles, to me, is one of those guys who it wouldn't surprise me if he comes down to like 14, 15, or 16. But wouldn't surprise me if he falls in the top 5 either, because the Jets are known for falling in love with Ohio State guys with huge freaking combines. You remember Vernon Golston back in the day? I think the last time I heard his name was when they drafted him like 5th overall, and I was like, huh?
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Speaking of crazy, the Miami Dolphins are on the clock now. This team, I have no idea what they're doing. You trade away Jayden Waddle after you sign Malik Willis to a $20 million a year deal. So, and you get rid of your starting quarterback. So, are you blowing it up and starting over, or do you think like you got your quarterback, but then you get rid of his weapons? I don't know what they're doing down there. So, I have no idea what they're going to do the draft. I'm glad this is your pick. Oh wait, no, this is my pick.
Pick. But you're right, though. They did literally. They told everybody that was any good, traded them all away. Anybody worth any money's gone.
Right,
straight gone. Fitzpatrick out of there, Waddle out of there. Tyreek Hill will be released here soon enough. Tua's gone. It's like, man, you guys just literally said, "Hey, we redoing everything." Darren Waller's gone, so that tight end, spots up for grabs. But
yeah, they got holes all over the place. I don't think they really added a lot of talent. I think you got Achane down there, but how long before he's like, get me out of here? You know what I mean? Like
sitting there, like you traded everybody, but not me.
Yeah, he's hoping that he goes off for like 2,000 yards this year in total offense and maybe 15 touchdowns, so he get a fat contract somewhere else next year. Yeah. So a couple of things. I mean, obviously you got a quarterback down there. You got to give him weapons. You got two receivers on the board, Jordan Tyson and Mekhi Lemon, that are, a godsend to be in that pick. Yeah. I'm not sure what their offensive line status is. I mean, you've got Mayoga on the field right now, which is kind of surprising that he kind of slipped through us all. I think that kind of just shows that that's what happens when you're that guard tackle mix. If somebody doesn't really see a left tackle in you, I don't see you going in that top 5 like a lot of places have them. Don't get me wrong, he is an amazing guard. Like he could be just as good as I'm drawing a blank. Who's the guard that Indianapolis took like in the top 5 or 6? Nelson. Yeah, he could be every bit as good as Quentin Nelson, which he is a game changer for that offensive line in Indianapolis. But
listen, I straight said, because I watching the playoffs and I started watching Miami more and more. I'm like, dude, if the Browns draft this dude, I'm getting his jersey. This dude's just manhandling people. I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, this is where it's at. But then I'm like, now that we picked up a right tackle and did all that, we don't need him. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to get his jersey. But this dude, he is a monster of a guy.
That move made me so mad because I was like, what are we doing? Like, there's actually good right tackles in this draft. Like, I mean, we wouldn't be talking to. I would be okay with the Browns either maybe trading back a couple spots or up and getting a tackle in this first round if we didn't just spend, $60 million to sign Titus Howard after we traded for him.
My whole thing is why didn't we pick up Walker? They're paying him $10 million for 1 year. We could have did that, put him over on the left side and been done with that, and then dealt with, like you said, the right tackle through this draft.
Yeah, or you could put Jones back on the right side where he played extremely well his rookie year. You could have done a lot. That trade to me, I mean, we'll see what happens. Barry does win the trades. I give him credit. At least for a year or two, he wins the trade. So, oh man, I almost hate to not let Francis go any further. I'm not sure what and just because it's like, man, I feel like we're completely misdrafting this guy, but I don't see them passing on an offensive weapon. I am going to go with, I think Jordan Tyson's the draft pick right here.
All right.
So I'm a USC fan. Die hard. I grew up in Southern California. Okay. I think there is so much hype on Mekhi Lemon. I don't think he isn't even the best receiver prospect to come out of that school in the last 10 years. And the hype that he's getting and talking about him going as high as 8 in New Orleans or something, way out. I mean, he's a slot receiver specifically. He has great hands. Don't get me wrong. He can make the contested catches, but he's going to be outsized almost everybody that he goes up against. And if he's going to, if you're drafting him that high, you're drafting to be a number 1 receiver. But, Waddle was in Miami. They did okay with Waddle. So maybe, it's a similar style player. But Jordan Tyson's, I think, a better prospect if you're taking somebody here. So I'm going with Jordan Tyson at 11. I'm leaving Lemon on the board. And I don't know if you said you've seen a couple of the mock drafts we've done. I'm telling you right now, if you watch USC 2024 in 2023 with Caleb Williams at QB, Zachariah Branch was a better wide receiver at USC than Mekhi Lemon, and he's being taught. He went to Georgia. That was a big mistake on his end.
He should never left.
That was a terrible decision. He was a much better receiver, a little more undersized. I think he's like 5'11", 185 or 5'10", 185, something like that. But 4.33 speed, much better route runner, and has a much more opportunity to play a lot of spots. I think he would have had a better year last year than Lemon did.
Everybody's trying to say, well, Mekhi, he's like JSN, he's going to do his thing. And I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I can't see that. I don't know. I know he won the award, even though I feel like Jeremiah Smith probably should have won the award.
Don't know how that didn't happen.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing. When that happened, I was like, wow, are they – because Tate did his stuff. The reason why Tate can do – I give credit. Tate's very, very good, but a lot of reason why Tate had some openings was because Jeremiah's on the other side.
Well, I agree. In fact, when we just not to go back, but that's my one worry about the Browns taking Tate is the fact that he has never been a true number one receiver. And when people say like, oh, but he can catch the ball, he could do this, it's like, yeah, but you haven't had coverage rolled to your side for the entire game. You don't know what it's like to get manned up at the line of scrimmage, beat up the entire game, and then have a safety over top of you so that, you go a game and get 3 targets, and you have to find a way to get open against that in order to get a target. Like, that's a different level of dog in the sense that wide receiver, that's my one concern with Tate, because he had JSN before that. He's truly never had the opportunity to be on a team where, all that. I mean, just think, gosh, the team had, what was it? What's the wide receiver plays for Tampa Bay now? Last year was their first. Yeah. So, I mean, he's always had somebody. Ohio State has definitely put out the receivers the last 5 years.
Oh, yeah. That's another one. Like, I got these jerseys. I got every Ohio State receiver on their pro team and on Ohio State sign.
Oh, awesome. Awesome, dude. Oh, yeah, man. Oh, you're just like me. I'm actually thinking about moving our Sports Night podcast away from this studio and into my man cave office, just because I got all my jerseys and stuff. All right, you're up next with Dallas, brother. We're
see, Dallas is one of those where they need secondary help big time. Like, Diggs is gone. They're losing people. They're suffering. It's a lot of stuff going on over there. They need a defensive end, but you're not going to find that right now because there is nobody really up there. This is where I feel like McCoy goes, Gerard McCoy. Even though you see like he needs that time, Jerry Jones is that one guy that'll say, I don't care. I'll give him all the time he needs. He's going to be a stud. And, he'll say some whack stuff, even though I think he might trade 12 and 20 to us for 6 and 39 or whatever. I think that's going to happen if Barry wants that.
I hate that trade.
So do I. I wish it could be 6 and 70.
Yeah. I mean, I think it could. I mean, frankly, to move up from 12 to 6, it would take another first rounder any other year. It would take the next year. I mean, just look at. Do you remember? Was it last year Atlanta gave up their future first to move up from like 33 to 24 or something like that? I can't remember what the trade was, but it was something. I was like, oh my god, they had to give up a first round pick to get that. Like, wow.
Bottom of first.
Yeah. A lot of teams gave up their 2026 first last year and trades up. So I mean, I don't see. I think that pick 70 in there is just. I think it's nonsense, obviously, but. I don't see it being worth that. All right, so I've got I've got the Rams here next. Wow. Everything would tell you that this is where Lemon goes. You got Puka, who's kind of questioned. You know what? The news with Puka, I think right here, this is where Mekhi Lemon goes.
I agree.
I've seen a lot of them like slide past that or get drafted earlier. If he's still there, I can't see Sean McVay passing up on a top level wide receiver that he can pair with Puka, or if Puka's missing half the season or he needs to replace him. And I think with their other receivers, Devontae Adams, who he might even be. I don't know if he's a free agent or if he's still on the roster.
He's still there. Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah. So, all right. Next up, we got Baltimore. It's on you.
Now, Baltimore, Baltimore's one of those teams where they always like an edge. They like defense. But now you got Minter there and whole new regime. They lost their, they lost their center. That was going to be their dog, which I can't believe they didn't want to pay him. That blew my mind. I wanted to pay him. I wanted to go to the Browns. I feel like they go offensive line because they got to start protecting Lamar if they really want him to sit back there and pass and do something. I think they go that guard from Penn State, Ione.
Oh, wow. So you think they passed up on Francis?
Oh yeah, Francis is still there. See, I'm so used to him being gone.
I know he's always gone. I was just thinking how I'd hate for us to have to go against him every game. That's the only reason.
Yeah, you know what? It's going to be Francis.
If he's still there, I can't see him passing on him. Can't see him passing on it.
No, heck no. If they're going offensive line, yeah, it's going to be Francis if he's sitting there. But yeah, dang, I forgot because I'm so used to him being gone.
Yeah, he's always gone. In fact, I mean, but here I'll follow up with that because I would go if I'm Tampa Bay. They need offensive line help. They've been pass rushes. The other thing I think Keldrick Faulk could be a pick here.
Yes.
So could Messidor, who's kind of making a name for himself. The thing with Messidor is I just have a hard time because he played opposite of Ruben Bain. Like those two fed off of each other so much last year. Oh man, this could be tough. Yeah, I think if this sets up the way that it does here, I can't see the guard from Penn State. What is it, Ione? I can't see him. Yeah. I can't see him making it past Tampa Bay.
All right. I agree. And you know what's crazy is got the Jets next, right?
Yeah. So we started off. The Jets we had them take Arvell Reese.
Yes.
So this is an interesting pick, right? You've got a lot of potential here for them.
There is, and there's one thing that they definitely need to get right and start doing because they seem to have an issue with it all the time. And we're going to go 3 offensive linemen in a row. You might as well go Spencer Fano right here.
Yeah, I think that's the pick. I think they either protect that future quarterback, they start setting up for it right now. Yeah, I agree.
He's versatile, so he can play center, right, left. So he can play all over the place, and I think that'll be great for him because they won't have to key in. They can grab whatever later, and Spencer could just fill in a hole somewhere.
Yeah. So Detroit is in need of quite a bit, actually, because, obviously they've had some things not go their way. Their defensive secondary needs help. I actually thought at one point I had Denzel getting traded to Detroit for this pick.
Yes.
Like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Monroe Feeling is the big name that everybody's got him kind of. This is like his floor. He's not going to get past here. I think this is where Caden Proctor goes.
I hope so.
Me too. I hope Caden Proctor goes there to Detroit. I don't think if they're going to go offensive lineman, that's crazy. That's 4 offensive linemen in a row the way that worked out. But I think that's going to be the pick for them there. If he's still there, it's either going to be Proctor or Freeling. I can't see them passing on a left tackle.
Yeah, I can't either. They need to help. Puts Casewell. He's on whatever side now. They're moving him around. They're doing all sorts of stuff, and they go big. They're high on their offensive line because of Gibbs and what they do with him and protecting Goff. Because if he's on it, sitting on his ass, and then he's not throwing the ball to Amon-Ra or J-Mo. So.
God, crazy to think that Amon-Ra was a 4th round pick.
Insane to think. I mean, you see some of these receivers. I mean, Antonio Brown, even though he's a nut job, he was picked in the 6th.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. I'm trying to remember who we took in the 3rd round that year because who was that? That was the Anthony? Was that the Schwartz pick?
Yeah, I don't. No, it might have been.
I can't remember now. We looked it up a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh God, terrible. All right, number 18, the Vikings. There's like a consensus here that they got rid of a white safety and they're going to get another Caucasian safety. I think that's the only reason people keep mocking the guy to them.
To be honest, I'm going with Dylan Thieneman, the safety from Oregon.
Everybody says that's going to be the pick. You very well could be right on this one. I mean, I don't hate the pick. Obviously, they're going to have a weakness in safety. I think that whole defense, this could be where, I have to look up his name. What's the linebacker's name from, not Clemson? Is it Clemson? Georgia, CJ Allen. I feel like CJ Allen could be a sneak peek up that spot, but yeah, I mean, I don't hate the fact that, everybody else is kind of going that direction. So why change it? All right. Carolina's on the clock next. Man, the Panthers need defense. Last year's offense did well. They could use another weapon. Omar Cooper Jr. at this point might be a little early. Man, his draft status has really climbed up despite kind of having a so-so playoff, in my opinion.
That's another thing. Like these Indiana guys, like, Mendoza didn't even throw for a touchdown. He had like 210 yards in the championship game. Like, if you were counting this dude, I'm like, man, he was in Cal not doing any of this. He came to Cignetti's system and is doing this. Now he has to be able to go to, Klubnik or Kubiak's system and do this. I don't know.
I'm with you. I'm not on the hype of Mendoza, but he got the win in the championship game and going through the playoffs and beating the Buckeyes in the national championship game. I think if he lost any of those, then it'd be a different story, especially on some of the guys that are around him. I don't see the Panthers taking a hype at Cooper. They took Tep Miller last year in the first round. I think this is a Keldrick Falk spot. It's either him or Messidor here. I'm going to go with Falk to the Panthers.
You know what's crazy is, I don't know if you'll believe me, but Messidor fell into the middle of the second round in that epic mock draft we did.
Did he really?
It fell all the way. Him and Zion Young were all the way in the second round and stuff.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. Like the trades that were made in this, like I said, the Tennessee Titans moved up to 33 and drafted.
Did you have like a 32 man? Did you actually have 32 people join this?
32 war rooms. People, like, there was us doing the Browns, but then we were part of this guy's thing, and we were the Browns. There was someone doing all the other teams, like a different war rooms.
Oh, that's
people
awesome.
All do trades, everything. Like, people were doing crazy trades. Like the Titans traded away, what's his name? What's that quarterback that they got over there? Not Ward, but
Will Levis.
Yeah, traded him and some picks or something before the draft even started. This thing was insane. The amount of stuff that went down and the players that fell or got. There was a whole bunch of reaching.
Who did that mock draft for you guys?
I have to look. I don't know if it was the mock professor or. God, I have to remember, but it was
pretty awesome. So did you do it? Were you the Browns, I presume?
Yeah, me and Network 216. There was a couple of us on. We were the Browns, and we would watch everything happening, and it would show up on this list the Sloshed had, and he would tell us who was picked, when, and he'd hit the bell. You'd hear the NFL thing go off, and then we would discuss what we wanted, and then we would pick.
Oh man, you know what? Do me a favor. Is that streamed on your YouTube channel too?
There's one that was streamed on. Yeah, I think. Did I get the first? Was part of the first round streamed on there? Yeah, part of the first round was probably streamed on there.
Okay, I'll have to look that up. If you find the link to that whole video, send that to me after this so I could check that out. It sounds like a good time.
Yeah, I'll ask somebody. Yeah, I'll ask him, because, man, dude, it was absolutely insane, the trades that happened. Like I said, the Niners moved up to 20 from 27 to grab a guy that would have been there at 27. I couldn't.
Oh my gosh!
Like, what are these guys doing?
Oh man! All right, so you got the Cowboys again. Let's see. You went McCoy, right? Yeah. So you went defense at 12. Now you're sitting here at 20.
And I got a feeling they go back to defense, and they're always known for getting like some kind of linebacker out there that always gets hurt eventually in a couple of years and retires, and he's not there no more. But I like CJ Allen here.
Yeah, man, that'd be a great draft. If you're a Cowboys fan, you gotta love that draft.
Oh yeah,
CJ Allen alongside of McCoy. I mean, you get the best player. Yeah, you could have the best player at both those positions, which are both positions in need. And that's where this is one of those drafts. Like, they're talking about guys trading up. I'm almost wondering if that's just teams trying to get smoked because they want people to trade up. Because I'd rather have 2 first-round picks than 1 in this draft. And the difference between Reuben Bain, say at 6, and Messidor even in the 20s, it might not be that big of a difference. But then you look at a CJ Allen, and one of my favorite guys in this draft is Anthony Hill Jr. out of Texas. Yeah. I think he's a better linebacker than Allen, and he doesn't get mentioned. He's slowly climbed up into the early 50s, late 40s. Yeah. But yeah, it'll be interested. So I got the Steelers, and gosh, of course I would have to draft for the team that I despise. Here's the thing, though. I have no idea. The Steelers need everything. If they win more than 6 games next year, I will be completely shocked.
And you know what? I was watching the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show right earlier. I'm gonna actually have Mikey McNuggets on my show tomorrow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. What's his name? I can't. Tyus was on there, and he had some crazy hot takes saying the Browns can win the division.
I saw that video. I didn't watch the video yet, but I have that saved.
And I agree 100% because, again, the Steelers and McCarthy and who knows about Rodgers. You don't know what's going on. Baltimore and all their new stuff and what's going on there. And Cincy, is Burrow going to be healthy? Does he even want to play? Is his heart in it? And can they have a defense?
Right.
If we can get things picked right and the offensive line comes together with Warhop making that, I can't see how we don't.
Just look at this division last year. A game over 500 put you in the playoffs and winning the division. Right. It's become the NFC. What is it? The NFC South or the NFC? Yeah, the NFC
9 or 10
South.
wins is going to win this division.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right, and it's scary. So they could actually win the division if the defense plays as well as it does last year, and whether it's Shedeur or Deshaun that leads it, they could win 8 or 9 games. I also think the fact that it seems like Baltimore's going through a complete overhaul, and so is Pittsburgh. But Pittsburgh is like they brought in a coach who's probably got a couple of years left in his career to manage a bunch of guys who have a couple of years left in their career. I mean, the comparison of TJ Watt versus Myles Garrett's no longer.
Cam Hayward, all that. Yeah.
I mean, people aren't talking about it yet. I think they will be. I mean, you have a couple of guys that have said stuff, but I think by week 5, people are going to be like, what happened to TJ Watt? Yeah. I don't see him being a game wrecker like he's been in the past next year. I think we'll see, but you remember how fast JJ went downhill, his brother.
Yeah. That lung injury, man, that could be a real problem. He might not be able to have that same amount of stamina and be out there as much as he normally is because he still might have that lingering issue for who knows how long.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. All right. So that being said, I got to pick for them. They need offensive line. They need defensive line. They need a wide receiver because DK Metcalf's a nut job, and who knows what's going to happen with him. They have holes that this draft is not going to fix for them.
I do be honest. I love the Pittman pickup. The trade they made for Pittman, I love that.
That was a great trade.
Yes.
That was a great trade. I forgot about that trade. You're right. They picked him up for what, like a 6th in exchange of 5th and a 6th or something like that.
Yeah, they signed him 3 years, $60 million or $50 million or something like that.
Yeah. So I hate going in order. So here's Messidor as the next best player other than Monroe Feeling. The offensive. I saw something today that this is where they're gonna. I refuse to let them. While I would love for them to take Ty Simpson here, I cannot imagine that they're gonna take him.
I would love for that too to get him the hell out of here. I don't want to hear that dude's name.
I have not watched enough tape on McNeil Warren to know if he's going to be capable of leading a defense. I think they need to put a pass. I think this is where Messidor is going to go because I don't see another pass rusher for a while. And it's crazy how far TJ Parker's kind of fallen off the big boards. He could be a surprise up here if they go that way. I think this is somewhere where Messidor ends up. I'm going to take Messidor. They're going to have to do something about that pass rush or it's going to evaporate. You're going to try to do what you did last year with Rodgers. You're going to have to start somewhere. It wouldn't be surprised if Freeling was on the board right there. Lomu's on the board right there. I wouldn't be surprised if they went left tackle either.
Yeah, it's going to be the cellophane curtain soon enough because you're going to be able to see right through it and get right through it.
Yep.
Dang. See, Messidor is going to be my pick right here for the Chargers.
Really?
I feel like they do need that with Mac about to be on his way out. I think they need someone to come in here and do that damage. But, I'm going to stick on the defensive side of things. God, I want to go receiver, though, too. Like, I feel like.
Well, let me ask you this because once again, the Chargers, despite being a good team because they have a great quarterback, right, or they've got holes. That offensive line seemed to be what kept them here. Do you think they would pass on one of these tackles if that got to that point and one of these guys were on the board?
I think they would because they have their tackles. They just both were hurt. Alden and Slater were both.
Yeah, because they got Rashawn Slater. You're right. I wasn't even thinking about that. Yeah, and yeah.
Like this was the Chargers were my team. When the Browns got moved, I fell in love with the Chargers. I fell in love with Junior Seau. And then Damian
Oh,
Tomlinson
yeah.
became my favorite player.
Oh,
So I'm
yeah,
like, all
dude.
right, man. So I secretly root for them to do something if we're not doing anything. But
The chart. Jessum's online still. He thinks that the tackle for defensive tackle from Ohio State's the pick here for them.
I like that, but then I feel like he's gonna fall. I like Peter Woods.
Yeah, I like Peter Wood. I like the Clemson D line a lot.
Yeah, I think Peter Woods would probably be the real pick here for them at D tackle. But God, I wish I could say Omar Cooper too, because you got to think receiver wise. I mean, they got Ladd Quentin. You don't know if he's going to have another year like that because for 3 years he didn't have anything.
Yeah,
He was dropping the ball everywhere. Yeah, I'll go Peter Woods.
Yeah, this is where the draft starts to get a little sketchy. You got Concepcion there too, Denzel Boston. Denzel Boston could be a pick there. It kind of reminds me of the old Mike Williams kind of thing. So we'll go with Peter Woods, but yeah, you're 100% right. All right, well, I think this is a no-brainer for the Eagles. I don't know which one. Let me look through here, but we everybody knows it's like a writing on the wall is that AJ Brown's going to be out of there, right?
Yeah,
I think that's the concept, the consensus that he's going to be on. Trying to think whatever holes that they've got, and I'm trying to not look at it as like
they're gonna need a left tackle too. You know, Lane Johnson. This is his last year. I feel like.
Yeah. Do you draft a guy that can play right until then? Do you play a guy that's going to back behind him? I mean, this is also a team. Once again, let's see. I had some notes here for them. Yeah, aging defense. They're going to lose AJ Brown. Blankenship left, so they don't have a safety. You know what? I think if this Blankenship gone, I think this is where McNeil Warren goes. Yeah, I'm going to go with McNeil Warren there.
He's a hitter. I like that.
Yeah, I got to watch some more tape on him because I told myself the other day, I was like, if you were willing to take downs at 6, why wouldn't you be willing to take a safety at 24? Right? I think people. So the first 3 or 4, I think. Literally 4 mock drafts, I had Caleb Downs as my number 6 overall pick because I think he's the best player in this draft. And everybody like gave me so much hate on it. Like, we don't need safeties. And I'm like, so you guys realize that Hickman's on like a 1-year tender. Like, he could leave next year. We can't do anything about it. And Delpit's either going to want an extension next year or he's going to be on his way out the following year. I think he becomes a free agent. So the idea that you say, oh, our safeties are a strong position for us right now. And we also live in a league where you play a lot of nickel defense, right? So having a guy that can play safety and slot corner or nickel back like Downs candidate is beneficial for us, not an enemy. All right. So you're up. What are you thinking?
See, I'm kind of with you with not worrying about lineman stuff. But man, Lomu, I like Lomu. Freeling's there too. Man, it's hard not to go one of those guys.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the Arizona Cardinals are picking up the phone if I'm Cleveland right now. Just begging me to move up to that spot.
Because they're all the way out of it, right?
Yeah, but I mean, let's say they wanted to move up from 34 to 24, and you had to throw in like a 5th round pick to get Marvin Harrison.
I'm doing it. Yeah, 100%.
Right. If I had to throw in a 4th round pick, I'd be doing that to move down. And I think we talked about like the Falcons trade last year for them to go from early 2nd round to the back of the first. It took them a 1st round pick. So I think the value's there for it. That's why I say I hope that the Cardinals want to jump the Jets to draft Ty Simpson. I hope the hype around Ty Simpson is there. But if not, and you're stuck making this pick, everybody will tell you Omar Cooper's the pick, but you just picked a wide receiver. But there's nothing wrong with having 2, and then you got 2 best tackles that actually play left tackle on the board.
And that's where I'm at with it. Like, see, now you could take Freeling, even though he might be a little bit of a project, but he's got the upside to it all. Or you take Lomu, who's just, hey, he's what he is. This is it. Man, dude, see, this is tough. But I guess I would have to go probably. For the sake of, we're going Omar Cooper. We're driving 2.
Oh, we're getting 2 receivers in the first round. That's going to make some people happy.
I mean, I don't want to hear nobody complain that Shedeur has nothing to throw to.
Oh, man. All right. I got the Bears pick. I think they're 100% going defense. I think the pick would normally be McDonald. I'm trying to think who's the Bears cornerbacks right now. I know they were like either really good or really bad last year. Like they either got an interception or they gave up yards. And they play a lot of man to man. But they redid their offensive lines last year, but they still have holes. I think I've seen a lot of people talk about this is where McDonald goes. You know what? I'm gonna throw a wrench. Let's shake this thing up a little bit. I like Brandon Siss out of South Carolina. I think he falls. I think this is where he goes. Man to man coverage type guy, works well in that Bears defense. Got good size to him. I think he's 6'1", like 205 or 195. I see the Bears. They could easily I could go with the conception. Like the everybody says the mock draft, right? Like this is where McDonald's definitely going to go, but I'm going to shake it up a little bit.
I like it. I like it.
All right. Bills are up next. Needs, according to this, edge, receiver, safety, linebacker, guard.
And edge is exactly what I was thinking about, because what do they always do? They bring in some old guy
every time, right?
Von Miller. Can they do it? They need this young guy that can, shake it all up. And Cassius Howell seems to be some type of monster.
Ooh, now Cassius Howell's got short arms too. He's got shorter. Isn't he got shorter arms than Baines?
I think so.
Yeah, I heard something about that. I haven't looked at his measurements, but I mean, he's supposed to be fast and a dynamite off the edge, so I could completely see that fit there for him. I wouldn't. I could also see them taking Denzel Boston there and putting another weapon on that offense. I know they just traded for DJ Moore, but they swung him big time.
Wide receiver too.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to end the skid here for Monroe Freeling. If San Francisco's sitting there, you got a year left maybe out of Trent Williams. I think this is where Monroe Freeling is the latest he falls.
Yeah, they need something because they're over there messing around. Old boys saying, hey, pay me some more money and this and that. They don't want to pay him no money. And Trent's like, give me it all, get rid of me. And there's a battle. So I feel like this might be his last year sitting there. So they're going to definitely need that left tackler.
All right, you got the Texans up here.
I'm going to follow you right up. Texans got rid of all their offensive linemen. So I think Caleb Lomu is going to go right to the Texans and play some offensive line.
There it is. There it is. All right, I've got Kansas City. I can actually who did I end up taking with them? Is this where I said I went Sadiq? All right, well, then they are 100% going corner. The difference is, do they take Terrell or do they take, I can't remember what Terrell's mentions are, 5'10", 5'11". I'm going Colton Hood right here out of Tennessee. I think that's the pick. That puts Terrell out of the I don't think Terrell's obviously this order that it suggests. I don't think Terrell is the best corner or one of the top 5 corners in this draft. I'll be surprised if he goes in the first round from Clemson. All right, you're up with that brilliant trade where they traded Jalen Waddle to Denver for pick 30. So here you are at the Dolphins again. And let's see. I think I had the Dolphins. Yeah, I had them last and went Jordan Tyson. So now you sit at 30. You've already got a wide receiver. Where you see them going?
Man, dude. It is rough because they need everything and anything. Gosh. Offensive lineman. They can go D tackle too. God, I don't really know, man. I'm kind of I think that might be a reach. If they went offensive guard went Chase Bisnottis.
I don't think it's a reach. I think he's climbing up boards. If you're looking for a guard, I think they have a need for a guard too. Their offensive line is obviously going to need some help. They couldn't keep Tua's head in place, so I don't hate that pick. I mean, that could definitely be the pick here. I think there's going to be a run on offensive linemen and receivers, and that could be where it's at.
Yeah, and I like that. Go with Chase.
All right, Chase is the pick. All right. I think I'm lucking out here because I would not think that the Patriots are going to have their basically pick of the litter here between Concepcion and Boston. Concepcion's got the drops, but man, he's dynamic.
He is.
I'm gonna go with Denzel Boston right here. I think that fits them losing. They didn't bring back what's his name, Diggs. I think this puts a wide receiver out there. They need to put some talent around their guy out there. And you are up, sir, with the Seahawks here on the final pick here in the first round.
You know, this one can go a couple different ways too. But I feel like they traded away their edge. To the Cincinnati? They lost him to Cincinnati, Obi or whatever his name, Ofi or whatever his name was.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who that was.
He was a young edge, and they say, you know, their need is running back, but I can't see any running back
in first round. I can't see them invest. This is where they talk about the was it Pierre or Price, the other running back?
Yeah, the other Notre Dame running back.
I can't imagine him being that high. I'm with you on that. I don't think they're not going to stretch on a running back. I mean, who were the running backs before? It was gosh, I'm trying to draw a blank.
Walker and Charbonnet.
Yeah. Walker the third, who I think was undrafted maybe, or a late round pick 3 years ago. So yeah, I'm with you. I don't see that being the case.
I'm going to go with a monster edge out of Mizzou, Zion Young.
Yeah, Zion Young's going to be a beast. He could definitely fit that defense there. All right, overall draft grade. Well, I haven't done it this way, so let's see what happens here. We got an A here. Oh, we can look. Oh, it doesn't give us our grades by. Interesting. I was trying to see if it gave us a grade for everything. Let's see. Nope. I'm going to download this, though. I'll have to put some content on it. So it's interesting to look at this board versus some of the others. I think a lot of it stays the same. I think that top 10 is kind of where it's at. Sadiq might not be there, but I appreciate you doing this with me, man.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Again, I appreciate you having me on. I love doing these things and then just meeting new people, talking, getting a whole new perspective on stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, obviously, you know, we're Browns fans, so there's always something to talk about. But when you get to the draft, it's fun because it doesn't matter, you know, who the team is picking. And it's just fun to kind of learn all these prospects and see how they translate into the NFL. So let's finish this up. I got a couple of things I want to touch on. Out of the top 10, and it doesn't have to be our top 10. It could be a consensus top 10. Who do you think is going to be the best player, and who do you think is going to be the bust, if you want to call him that?
I think Jeremiah Love is probably the player that shines the earliest, and we probably believe he'll be the best. But I feel like there'll be other players that catch up to that down the road. But I think Jeremiah Love will be really definitely.
You think he's going to be the best one?
Yeah.
I don't think you're wrong at all.
It's tough. Maybe, no, maybe Downs, but it depends on where he goes.
Right.
That's how I look at that.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely gonna, depend on where he ends up, but we'll see. And then who do you think's gonna not tune out or turn out?
I could just say Mendoza. Because I feel like he's gonna be an average to bust type of guy. I don't think he's gonna be that dude everybody's thinking he's gonna be, but if I'm gonna go him, man, it could easily be a Sonny Styles.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
To say because he's an Ohio State guy, but I mean that it could easily be him.
Yeah, so for my two, I got Jeremiah Love and Ruben Bain. I think are going to be ultimately at the end of this are going to be the top two out of this top 10. And then my bottom 10 or bottom two, I said Ruben or David Bailey is who I think is going to be the one, and then the other one would be Sonny Styles. So we'll see how they turn out. Hopefully that's not the case. You don't want anybody to do terrible. You don't want anybody to bust. But ultimately, I'm hoping that Sonny Styles and David Bailey don't end up on Cleveland because I don't want to risk it. And Jordan Tyson, you can keep him away too. We talked about late round drafts. You did a 7-round mock. So obviously a 7-round mock, you got to do some work when you're looking.
And like we did it the days that it was in too. Like Thursday was just the first round. Friday was second and third. And then Saturday I wasn't a part of because I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I couldn't do that one because they actually did that during the day, like 10 in the morning.
Oh, so you missed the stuff that you had to do the hard work on, like who you.
I mean, when I can jump in on my breaks I was watching and, paying attention and throwing names or whatever, or just telling them not to draft a quarterback.
All right. So later rounds, and it could be second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever. You got some names that you've kind of done some stuff on that you kind of hope maybe end up on Cleveland?
I like Oscar Delp, the tight end from Georgia.
Yeah.
Big man. He could sit on the line, let Fannin kind of go out a little bit and play a little receiver tight end. Plus, Delp's got hands. I mean, he can do his thing. And I think that'll help out a lot because we do need that. Everybody says, like they did another mock last night because it's literally a podcast of just mock drafts that are on 2162. That's the land of mocks. And they took Kenyon Sadiq at some point. They traded down and something happened. They took Kenyon and they said, why not Kenyon? I said, that early, when you can get Oscar or Claire or Stowers, I don't know if I'm doing that.
Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, I get it. Once again, you can fall in love with the combine. You can fall in love with the measurables. But at the same point in time, you already got your star tight end. You got your starter. So do you really want to invest in a second tight end? Maybe if the wide receivers don't measure up and you want to have another target for Shedeur, whoever the quarterback of the future is. And if it was Stefanski, I would say more likely.
Yes.
But I guess, but at the same point in time, what's his name had tight ends? Yeah. So it's very, very possible, and they didn't get rid of Likely until after he left. So I could see that being, I wouldn't be mad if he fell to 24 and the Browns picked up Sadiq at 24. I tell you right now, I wouldn't be angry about it.
I wouldn't be mad either. But
especially after you lose, after Njoku leaves,
And the reason why I say Oscar Delp doing that is because of the Andrews Likely comparison, because Andrews is more of the Oscar Delp where he's going to block, do his thing, but he's going to catch his balls too. But Likely was Fannin. Fannin is like twice, what Likely is, but that's what he is.
Right. Yeah. And I'm with you too. And when it comes to those, especially first round picks, like I want those to be game changers at key positions. Yeah. But you find a tight end in that third, fourth, fifth round. And this is a tight end deep draft. I mean, the tight ends are so athletic now compared to where they were, 8 years ago, 9 years ago. Now everybody's 6'5", 260 and runs a 4.4, 4.5 40. It's like, man, it's just a totally different game at that position. So
we're used to them sitting on the line, not doing anything. And now they're doing everything, going out wide.
Yeah. Who else you like later on?
I like Malik Muhammad, cornerback out of Texas. I think he's a nice find, saying like the 5th round. I think that would be something good for the Browns to pick up. Again, we don't know what's going to happen. We also need that corner, or safety slot, that nickel safety that can play slot, because we definitely need that.
Yeah, agree.
We need that. And if we can get, I like him, what's his name? Fisher. Is it Fisher? I'm trying to think of his name, man. So many damn names lately.
I know, right? It's all right. It's easy to forget.
But yeah, there's a couple of nickel safeties that I like too that could turn into that slot.
I like Kamari Ramsey as a safety.
Kamari Ramsey. That's one.
Dude. He's a guy who could play nickel too. He played corner, he played everything. So I'm with you on that. Anybody else you got out there?
Ty Montgomery from John Carroll.
Yeah. My buddy just drafted him in like the 7th round. He's like a return specialist kind of guy, late round pick.
Yes, even though we got Wallace and that was his job, I still think Ty and his speed and the way he is, he could be used like kind of not exactly like Debo, but kind of like that. Hey, Isaiah's going to just let Isaiah be the burn man. Let this dude be your utility knife type stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I've got a couple of guys. For me, the 3rd and the 4th round is where you got to find some guys that are they got to turn into football players and make your roster. If you get 4 guys in between the 3rd and the 4th round, or 3 guys and one of them starts, 2 of them starts, you're winning, right? 5th round, same thing. I like Malachi Fields out of Notre Dame. He's been one of my guys at wide receiver for a long time. I know apparently he showed up poorly at the combine as far as his route running and skill set, but that dude's a go up and get it kind of receiver. He's got great size. He's like 6'4", 220, 219. I like Danny Sutton, the defensive end edge rusher out of Penn State. Man, I tell you what, if you go back and look at Abdul Carter's tape, Danny Sutton had more quarterback pressures than he did when they were there together. And he's going to be like I think he'll be like 70 to 80 somewhere in there. And putting another edge on this team wouldn't be a bad thing.
Heck
and
no.
then we talk offensive linemen. I've got, like I said, I got a couple of linemen. I really like Markel Bell, the tackle out of Miami, left tackle, 6'9", like 350, 360. That dude played 1,000+ snaps at Miami and never gave up a sack.
And then they criticize him for his one rep that you saw at the Senior Bowl.
Against Derek Moore, who's a guy who had 14 sacks last year for Michigan. You know what I mean? Like,
right. So they criticize him for that, but all this other stuff they look past. But that dude, I like him too.
It's funny. I said something the other day because I just saw that picture. Somebody said, something about him and this guy, and I was like, well, did Derek Moore fall down too? Because that means he didn't get to the quarterback, which means he did his job. I don't care if my tackle falls down as long as the defensive end falls down too.
I agree.
But yeah, there's some ballers, and I like. Here's the thing, I mocked him in one of my drafts in like the late 3rd round on a trade down or something, or maybe a trade up from the 4th round. Darrell Jackson Jr., I think is his name. Defensive tackle out of Florida State. He's like a mammoth of a man, dude. He's 6'7". He's got like an 86-inch wingspan. He's a senior. He had a kind of a rough life because he went from Maryland, transferred to like Miami, and then his mom got sick, so he transferred again, and then they kept him out a year. The NCAA wouldn't call it a hardship, so he couldn't play. And then he played for Florida State. Not a big rush the passer kind of guy, but when Malik Collins went down last year, that run defense sucked for the last 3 weeks of the season, 4 weeks of the season. We need somebody who's just there. Like, good luck moving him. 6'7" or 6. Yeah, I think he's 6'7", 360. Good luck moving this dude. I
like that. The little plug the hole type. Hey, I'm not going to come get the quarterback. They're all going to do that.
Yeah, let me just consume your left guard or your right. Yeah, your left guard and your center, and Myles Garrett be one-on-one with your left tackle. I'll do that all day.
It's over. Then you got Mason Graham one-on-one.
Oh yeah, dude, you're just eating all day. I mean, the Browns do have an edge rusher on the other side too. They just signed Alex Wright to a contract.
Yeah, Alex Wright's good.
And that's one of those defensive players later mid rounds that developed. It took them 3 years, but those are the kind of picks. So that's why I wouldn't be mad if we did trade down from 6. We did pick up extra, middle round picks or 2nd round picks, because there's some talent out there. We just got to go out and find it. And hopefully Barry does, man.
I'm 100% agreeing. I think he will. I don't see how people are like, oh, well, that was fluke. Got that draft. Listen, I'm telling you right now, he's going to make some magic happen, because my cousin is a diehard hater. And I told him, I said, if he picks this draft and nails it, you're done with that. He's like, all right, but if he drafts Ty Simpson, you're done with him. I said, if he drafts Ty Simpson, I'm done. Yes.
Definitely. I'm out on Ty Simpson. I'm out on that. All right. One bold take for the night. We'll end on after this, but one bold take for draft night. Could be for our team or just a bold take in general.
Listen, I think 4 to 5 trades happen in the 1st round.
Wow.
I think there's a lot of movement, and it's going to be stupid too, like up a couple spots, or people are going to be worried about getting this. Because to me, this draft's a build your team draft. This isn't, hey, you're going to get, like you said, you're one guy away. There's no team like that, really. They either already have it all and they're just trying to add on, or they're building up. And I think there's going to be a lot of different trades in this. And I could see us doing exactly what you said. We just go 2 playmakers, or just wind up with Marvin Harrison and Tate, and then that's it. And that'd be crazy.
I'd go home. I'd go to bed that night sleeping very well. I probably wouldn't be sleeping at all, actually. I'd be calling everybody like,
Shedeurs, we throw the ball all over this field.
That's right. Yeah, my bold prediction, I don't think the Browns are going to take an offensive tackle in this 1st round. That's my bold prediction. I know it upsets and angers the crowd out there, but I cannot see it happening. But we'll see what draft night brings. So for those listening or those that tune in or catch any of this later, what's the name of your channel, brother?
It's at the Man Cave 8172. That's on YouTube. Go there, follow us there, subscribe. Everywhere else is at the Man Cave 10, TikTok, Twitter, pretty much Instagram, everywhere else.
Awesome. I'll make sure I share everything in the description too for everybody to see. Dude, I appreciate you joining me. If I could ever return the favor, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to do so whenever it is. And hopefully we can do this again.
All right. Anytime. You just let me know.
All right. Sounds good. Have a good night, everybody.
Later.